Few modern aircraft are as iconic as the majestic Emirates Airbus A380. While most airlines are slowly retiring their super jumbos, Emirates still flies them all around the world. When you think A380, you think Emirates. It's an aircraft most model airplane collectors want to have in their collection for a good reason. As you might know, Gemini Jets holds the Emirates license for 1 to 400 scale models, so it's pretty rare that we see another brand produce an Emirates model in the scale, especially the A380. I was lucky enough to pick up one of the few examples in this stunning Aviation 400 model. But is it actually better than the countless Gemini Jets versions? Let's find out today in this model airplane review. As always, my reviews are split into 4 different categories: the box, the mold, the landing gear, and of course the overall quality and printing of the model. The box and the gear get a score from 1 to 5, and the mold and quality get a score from 1 to 10. These scores will then determine the model's final rating out of 10. Are you ready? Let's dive right in. Now, the box of this model isn't anything special. It features an aerial shot of the famous Dubai airport, the home of Emirates. Other than that, it's pretty boring and doesn't tell you anything about the model at all. There isn't any Emirates logos to be seen, most likely due to the copyright issues, and the box also lacks any images of the model it contains. As with all Aviation 400 models, we get a black plastic stand to display our model on, which is a very nice inclusion considering this model has removable landing gear. Since this is a rather generic and boring box, I'll have to deduct a few points. I like the inclusion of a stand, but it doesn't make up for the lack of creativity of the box. I'll give the box a score of 2.5 out of 5. Up next we have the mold, which of course is one of the most important aspects of any model airplane. Looking at the nose shape of this Aviation 400 A380, we're off to a great start. They managed to capture this very unique nose almost perfectly. This is especially obvious when you compare it to the terrible Gemini Jets A380, which hasn't been updated since its introduction 20 years ago. As usual with Aviation 400 models, we get these tiny red gemstones to represent the beacon lights. This is a very cool feature I'm surprised no other brand has copied yet. The wings have an excellent shape, and so do the engines. They are in fact hollow core engines, allowing you to see through them, just like in real life. The fan blades look alright, but there are only 18 of them instead of the 24 on the actual aircraft. Another thing that could slightly be improved on are the winglets. They aren't bad by any means, but could definitely look a bit sharper. The underside of the model looks good too, with the NECA air intakes molded in, as well as a nicely sized and shaped antenna, and of course a universal stand hole. The tail of the jumbo is also flawless, with some especially good detail around the APU exhaust. Overall, this is an excellent A380 mold that doesn't leave much room for improvement. The few issues I pointed out are only minor ones, solidifying this as the benchmark for all A380s in 1 to 400 scale. The mold gets a score of 9.5 out of 10. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to drop a like. I put a lot of work into these reviews and I really appreciate your support. Back to the video. The most unique aspect of this model is definitely the gear. As I previously mentioned, it's removable thanks to the use of magnets. This way you can either display your model with the gear down or also retracted. This is a feature mainly seen on 1 to 200 scale models, but Aviation 400 has gradually started to introduce this feature on the smaller 400 scale models as well. It comes at the cost of detail though, as you can especially see on the main gear. It definitely looks a bit chunky, but it's a compromise I'm willing to take for this innovative feature. Of course, I still have to deduct a half a point for the simplified gear, but a score of 4.5 out of 5 is still solid. Last but not least, we need to inspect the printing and overall quality of this model. Now, the printing has always been a bit of a weak point on Aviation 400 models. It's not bad by any means, but the printed lines aren't as thin and crisp as with brands like NG models. Delivery, however, is spot on and has no mistakes or misprints. The build quality of this model is excellent and there aren't any loose parts or other flaws. Due to the average printing on this model, I'll deduct some points, leaving us with a score of 8 out of 10 for the printing and overall quality. Now let's quickly recap. The Emirates A380 by Aviation 400 got a score of 2.5 for the box, a 9.5 for the mold, 4.5 for the landing gear and an 8 out of 10 for the printing and quality. This leaves us with a total of 24.5 out of 30. By dividing by 3, we get our final rating of 8.2 out of 10. And what are my thoughts on this model? Well, it's excellent. I'm so glad Aviation 400 made this model. I always wanted an Emirates A380 in my collection, but the Gemini Jets ones are just so bad that I wouldn't touch them with a 6-foot pole. The Aviation 400 isn't perfect neither, but it's definitely a very solid model, well worth having in your collection. I love how innovative they are with the 3D beacon lights and the magnetic landing gear. I think it's these features that elevate this model airplane from good to great. Now I want to know what you think about the Aviation 400 A380 and the magnetic landing gear. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments and we can have a chat about this model. Don't forget to subscribe to Swiss 400 for more reviews, collector's guides and more interesting model airplane content. And if you want to keep watching, here are some suggestions. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Goodbye, aviators!